Hello, DIY Dad here. Right, we're going to talk about smoke, and in particular exhaust smoke. This is the side exit exhaust on my van, and it's easy to tell the health of an engine by the smoke. So it's actually really handy to know. You know, if you see a certain type of smoke, you might think, "Oh, I think I'll stay away from this car. I won't buy this one because it's quite clearly a problem." This has happened to me a lot. I have gone to main dealers, started a car, seen what's come out the back end, and I haven't gone any further. I've said, no, I don't even want to look at this one. This is no good at all. They will try and tell you it's because it's sat still for a while, and it's no, not normal. So, what colours of smoke do we normally have? Well, we've got black, we've got blue, we've got grey, and we've got white. And every type of smoke tells you a different thing about the condition of your engine. So black. Do you think black is good or bad? Black is good. I like black, especially from a diesel. I suppose I better say we're traditionally looking at diesel engines with this smoke. It does apply a little the same to petrols, but petrols don't tend to black smoke. Now, black smoke is a diesel thing. Black smoke means either it's overfueling and not burning the amount of fuel that you're putting into it, which is really, really common with massively tuned diesels. You'll see them piling out black smoke, and that is actually unburnt fuel being pushed out of the exhaust. So if you see a car that's going fast and it's running flat out with black smoke pouring out the back, that is probably a tuned car. Now, there is one other reason you might have black smoke like that, but it's not under heavy acceleration. You'll get black smoke all the time, and that is when you have a problem with your injectors. Now, when the fuel goes through the injectors, it actually atomizes into tiny, tiny bits. Now, if you inject injectors, the hole gets worn and that hole gets too big, and it drops big lumps of fuel in, it doesn't burn it efficiently, and that can cause black smoke all the time. You quite often see very old vans and things piling out black smoke, but they're not, you know, they're just ambling along. They've got injector problems. So, what should we go on to next? What type of smoke should we have next? Now, the next type of smoke is probably the most lethal smoke, or the one you want to look out for. It's blue smoke. Now, blue smoke is oil being burned. Now, oil should never be coming out of your exhaust. If there's oil coming out of the exhaust as blue smoke, it's burning the oil that's in the bottom of your engine. The oil in the bottom should not be getting into the combustion chambers. So that means there's some sort of major problem. There's either a piston rings are worn. It could be a broken piston ring. I had an old, what was it? It was a Citroen, an old Citroen BX I bought, and it wasn't that long ago I had it. And after I'd bought it, it was piling out black smoke, and I found that it actually had a cracked piston ring. And I ended up replacing the engine because of it. Seem to be being buzzed by a helicopter now. Interesting. Now, other reasons for blue smoke can be, it could be a turbo problem. If the turbo seals start to fail, you can get engine oil that should be cooling the turbo. It gets into the turbo, gets into the air intake, and comes out as blue smoke. So blue smoke is a really, really red flag for if you're looking at a vehicle, especially if it's starting with blue smoke, and especially if it's running all the time with blue smoke. And blue smoke on heavy acceleration. There's problems all over if that's the case. So blue smoke used to be common with older engines, not as common now, but one thing, really look out for that blue smoke. If you're buying a car and it's got any kind of blue smoke problem, go and find one that doesn't. It'll be far cheaper. Next colour, what should we have next? Let's have grey smoke. Now, grey smoke can be a number of issues. It can be, but it normally tells you there's some sort of fueling problem. The timing's out, so when the fuel is being injected into the cylinders, the time it's doing that is either too early or too late, and that can cause like a grey haze. That's usually due to sort of maybe a timing belt needs changing because it's stretched, or a timing chain, something like that. So a sort of whitish grey smoke can be timing. Now the last one is again fairly terminal. It's white smoke. If you've got white smoke, if you've got clouds coming out of your exhaust and it's piling out, that's a problem. That's water. So generally that means your head gasket's gone, or there's water getting into the somewhere in the engine. You've got a crack in the block maybe, but water is getting through where the engine is actually combusting the fuel, and it's being pushed out the exhaust. And you'll know this because the water level will go down in the car as well if you check the expansion tank. This is quite often comes along with overheating. So if the car starts really overheating and you've got loads of white smoke coming out of the exhaust, you've got a big problem with water, and it's likely to be a scrap engine. So they're the types of smoke that you really need to look out for. Some of them are good. Majority of them are not good. So when you go and look at a used car, you want to see the engine started from dead cold. Put your hand on the engine, check it's cold. And then when it starts, you want to see a clean running exhaust. You don't want to see black smoke on idle. You certainly don't want to see blue smoke. You definitely don't want to see white smoke. And you don't want to see grey smoke particularly. Bear in mind that if it's dewy, and especially in the winter, that you'll have water condensed in the exhaust, and you'll have a bit of white smoke on startup for the first maybe 5 minutes while the exhaust warms up. Then that will burn off and the exhaust should run cleanly. So there we go. That's the types of smoke you need to look out for, and what you should do, if you see it. So what we'll do now, I'll start mine, we'll have a look at the exhaust, and we'll see what mine does. So there we go. No smoke on startup. It's running completely clean. If I really rev it, I'll show you what black smoke from a tuned engine would look like. So that's when you rev a diesel, you'll quite often see that. This is a tuned engine, so I get a bit more smoke than normal, but that is what you'd see for black smoke. You can see it's black underground, that's soot from the exhaust. So that's fine. So there we go. That gives you a rough idea of what you should be looking out for, and how it gives indications of the health of a car.